We are actually entering into CBD decentralization mode on overdrive. We are decentralizing every single thing right now. Suddenly become, the whole neighborhood become like $1 million HDBs, right? Does that mean that you guys have already missed out on your opportunity? Are you too late? How to capitalize your money to enter into the cheapest, highest potential with the highest transformation? Oh my goodness, this is crazy. 93% sold at Springleaf Residences. Congrats to all of you who managed to buy a unit over there. But you guys would also know by now that the rage of all Singaporeans and the direction of the government is all the way in the north. But some of you guys may think that the north is...
Some people say that the northern part of Singapore is more ulu.
Ulu? But does it mean ulu means won't make money? Don't worry, since you guys have missed out on the Springleaf Residences, I'm going to be sharing with you guys Canberra Crescent Residences. And if you guys think, I already watched this before already, why need to watch again? Because I'm going to tell you the hidden secrets, the 内幕消息, so that you guys know exactly how to capitalize your money to enter into the cheapest, highest potential with the highest transformation in Canberra Residences. My name is Veroy from The Real Collective. Let's go. So why is this actually happening in Singapore right now? Are we in an undersupply situation? In the last 2.5 weeks or so, we moved more than 2,000 units. And just for reference, right, on average per year, we typically move between 10 to 12,000 units every single year. And in our current situation right now, we have also seen the amount of checks collected all over the various new launches seems to outweigh the number of units available by 2 to 3 times. Now, when this happens, does that mean that you guys have already missed out on your opportunity? Are you too late? Now, don't worry. I'm going to be uncovering everything that you guys care about in this upcoming project review, all the way from livability, convenience, floor plans, and even the hidden catches on how this property can appreciate. So without further ado, I'm going to break down to you guys whether your Canberra Crescent Residences is worth your money or not. Alright, so why Canberra? Because right now, at Canberra itself, we are only seeing about 45% of the units sold. And some of you guys may think, this one not so good that's why never sell as well as Springleaf. Now I'm going to orientate you guys a little bit about the buyer's mindset. So we saw that Canberra Crescent actually launched before Springleaf, and there is also a reason why I didn't do the Canberra Crescent Residence review yet. In short, we call it the CCR review yet. Because that time I haven't started the YouTube channel. Okay, but in all fairness, I have seen a lot of the buyers who actually went to visit Canberra and they all told me the same thing. Oh, I want to wait for Springleaf first and see what's my queue number, then come back and buy Canberra. And we have seen that happening already. After the queue numbers was announced, I think we moved about 20 to 25 units at Canberra Crescent, CCR. Wow, that one very long, very hard to say. At CCR, right? So we have seen a high demand and high interest in this project already. Now, if you guys are thinking, is it really worth your time? I'm going to break it down for you, alright? So, if you look closely, with 45% of the units sold, the unsold inventory means that you guys actually have more choices, more stacks available, and potentially stronger upside over the next 5 to 10 years because of the demand situation in that location. So now, with that, let's start with our project breakdown so that you guys know exactly what is happening over there, alright? Alright, time for facts. I know that you guys are not here just for facts, you guys are here for insights. But just give me a moment, let me finish through this and I'll get straight into the meat of today's video, alright? Project name, Canberra Crescent Residences, if you don't already know. In this video, I'm going to be calling it CCR for short, so that 我不会舌头打结啦, okay? Developer wise is Keng Leong and Loh Keng Huat. Total of 376 units over 4 blocks, over 12 stories high. Now, there's also going to be a childcare center on the block, on the first story of block 51. And every time when you see that there's a childcare center being allocated for, that means this developer is very sensitive about the demand needs of this neighborhood, of this location surrounding. So that what does that mean for you? A lot of livability. That also means that there will be this place will be drawing mostly families. And if you're looking for families wise, then there are certain unit types that probably stand out, which I'm going to be sharing later on as well. Now, District 27, TOP date will be 2028, Q3, Q4. I believe that is going to be a little bit earlier as with always. Land area is about 220,000 square feet, a very sizable plot, and is usually the kind of plot that I will go for whenever I'm buying investment property. Larger plot equal larger amenities equal larger audience appeal, and that means higher profitability as well. Okay, now for the meat. Will this even be something that your money will grow? Will this even be an asset that will grow for you? Come, let's check it out. So whenever we talk about appreciation, we always want to focus a few things, right? Firstly, demand and supply. Next up will be the transformational potential. And of course, the layouts. All of these do come together to play a part to determine a good property for you to enter your money into. But first up, let's start with transformation itself, because the National Day rally just passed and so much talk about the North. So I'm just going to run down the real quick transformation for you guys. As you guys already know, our nation is progressing. Right now, we are actually entering into CBD decentralization mode on overdrive. We are decentralizing every single thing right now. And we're going to be seeing the Woodlands Regional Centre being expanded in the North, as well as the North-South corridor coming in to this location to connect people from the north all the way into the central area. Now the Woodlands checkpoint expansion, again, this would demonstrate a lot of influx of people coming into Singapore to work, opening up channels for demand to come into our Singapore island, and again, that will also drive up rental in that location itself. Now, the next big thing that most of you guys would also know is the JB and Singapore RTS, where we are going to make entry in and out of JB really seamless. And you guys might be thinking right now, actually, right, since we got the JB RTS coming up, right, why don't we just buy a property near JB, right, cheaper, and then we can commute in and out of Singapore and still enjoy the same kind of potential and connectivity? Well, I guess this is something that I would say from a personal perspective. From a personal perspective, I see that Singaporeans are still generally very conservative, and in the way that we have been brought up, right, we still actually enjoy stability. We also want security and stuff like that. Not to say Malaysia is not stable and not secure, please don't cancel me out. But generally, being a Singaporean and having spoken to so many clients over my course of a 12-year career, I find that most people would still appreciate that safety and stability that Singapore Island gets to offer. So yes, the RTS will actually bring up property prices within the north area, but having demand being siphoned into JB just because of this connection, I don't see it happening so quickly. So that's for the transformation side of things. And if you guys are thinking, hey Veroy, I also have seen before location that talk about transformation, but yet it didn't appreciate it as much. And you guys have also seen before places that transform and suddenly become, the whole neighborhood become like $1 million HDBs, right? So to give you guys a more clearer understanding for that part, I have a 3-phase transformation framework, and I have an ebook to share with you guys. And if you guys want a copy of this ebook, very simply, just drop me a comment below or drop me a WhatsApp directly on my links in our social channels, and I will send it over to you. Now, remember, in a transformation location, your growth is pretty much more or less set in that sense. But if you guys have an investment horizon, then this framework comes in very clearly to help you identify how long for you guys to see the real returns, all right? Of course, right now, after understanding transformation, we need to look at demand and supply, because when the demand and supply is not taken care of, all forms of transformation is useless. Prices generally won't grow. Okay, now let's look at demand. Demand will translate into population. Population in the north, 582,000. Wow, you guys are probably the lowest density in the whole of Singapore. But that's not going to last for too long because of what our Akong is saying. You guys are generally going to experience a lot more growth in that location. But let's look at how are the prices holding up in terms of your exit strategy. Now, people who buy into CCR, generally their exit strategy will come from your nearby upgraders, and it is important for us to know whether the people surrounding you are able to afford or not. In terms of our HDB price trend itself, generally Sembawang has recorded really decent profits, as with Woodlands, as with Yishun itself. And let's take a look at the typical prices for a 3-room flat in that location. Wow! Sembawang very hot. 3-room flat recorded 620,000. Yishun 588,000. Woodlands also 588,000. Oh my goodness, this is crazy. And then for the 4-room flats, guys, check this out. 855,000 for Sembawang, Yishun 818,888. Very hot, huh? And Woodlands 745,000. Now moving into the 5-room flats, guys, Sembawang, Yishun recorded 980,000. Woodlands 838,000. We are already going to see some $1 million HDB flats coming out from the north area. Does this even sound familiar to you? Has there been a location in Singapore that has gone through transformation, that has now been seeing tons of $1 million HDB flats? And more importantly, that location used to be a cemetery land. If you know where is that, right, comment in below and I will give you a present. Okay, you claim, I'll give you a present, I confirm. I'll give you a present worth 200 plus. Alright, then if you guys say, hey Veroy, Sembawang, Yishun, Woodlands, too far lah, zoom in more. Canberra HDB estate, a total of 8,793 HDB flat versus 376 CCR units, less than 4%. In fact, as of this video right now, we are probably lesser than 376, probably around 150 units left and reducing as the day go by. What does this mean? Supply low, demand very high. What is going to go higher later on? Okay, so that's all for your analysis on this part. Let's go straight into the location and the floor plan analysis so that I can share with you even more hidden insights. Alright? Alright, now so for location itself, I'm going to be sharing with you guys what's the amenities around it and what you guys can anticipate living in this location. Okay? Now this part is actually the 5-meter circle radius, and you can see this orange portion, it is actually where CCR is located, and you will notice in terms of the shape, it's shaped like an L shape, and there is a reason why it's being shaped like that. I'm going to share with you later on when we talk about the floor plan. But as you can see over here, within a 500-meter radius, Canberra MRT station is just slightly out of this 500-meter radius itself. So many people tell me, say, hey, Canberra got no MRT, not so good. I beg to differ. This is about 800 meters away. This would translate to a 10 minutes walk, and it's really, really walkable. Now, in terms of amenities, let's see what do we have over here. Now, something interesting to take note is that there will be a proposed future Seletar MRT line. Now, this would actually increase the value of your property, creating what I call the MRT effect. Of course, this is part of the transformation moving forward, and again, it depends on what's your timeline for actually holding this property itself. But not to worry, moving forward, let's look at our shopping, entertainment, and dining as well. We have a variety of amenities for you guys to look for, and for those of you who probably want mega malls, right, bigger stuff, take one stop from Canberra MRT station and you would be at your North Point City, and there you have a plethora of dining, eating, and retail options. Now, Singapore kiasu parents, you would be happy to know that there is also a variety of school options. Wellington Primary School within 1 kilometer, the rest is within 1 to 2 kilometer radius. Those of you who like green spaces, who like recreation, you guys can see this is definitely a place that is not your usual neighborhood. You have tons of parks, a lot of gyms and outdoor activities. In fact, the Bukit Canberra Sports Hall, this is something that was created with the part of the whole northern transformation in the Canberra location itself. Now, for site plan analysis itself, I would say that it has more or less the usual stuff you would expect from a condo development. But if you realize one thing, because the shape of this plot is like an L shape, the developer has actually utilized this area to be away from the main resident blocks and making this a kids area. Now, with this itself, right, the developer has actually navigated the concerns of typical buyers who generally try to avoid blocks which are closer to the kids pool, which may translate into noise level and things like that. Okay, so we can see that in terms of the blocks, we are laid out this way. Right? Most of the blocks, in fact, I would say all of the blocks over here, they are north-south facing. So essentially for this development, there's actually no bad facing at all. In each block, there are a total of 8 units, which is pretty standard these days. You have your 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom, 3 bedrooms, and your 4 bedrooms itself. So this is actually the type of bedrooms that you can be anticipating. So for 1 bedrooms, we have the 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom, 2 bedroom compact, 2 bedroom premium, 3 bedroom compact, and so on and so forth over here. In terms of your amenities and facilities itself, you do have a very generous lap pool over here, which I think this is sizable enough for a development of this size. There is tons of lawn and green area, and if you zoom out, you can actually see this entire site plan. It's very dense in terms of greeneries and amenities. As compared to our traditional, some of the projects that you guys may have seen in the resale market, you would probably see here having one more block, here having one more block. This is actually how developers can maximize in terms of ROI by building more units and more blocks. But in this case, you actually get tons of facilities, signifying the developer's emphasis on lifestyle and livability itself. Okay, so for this portion, I would say if there's only something that I want to pick on, it would be the lack of a tennis court. With a development of this size, I would think that having a tennis court would probably make a little bit more sense. But then again, we also have the access to Bukit Canberra that's just a stone throw away. So that portion can probably fulfill the needs of all you guys out there who are tennis players and pickleball lovers, alright? But overall, I would say this landscaping and the site plan is very well done. As you come in, you also have a nice drop off going down into the multi-story car park. So no units is kind of compromised in terms of facing of the sun direction, and most of the units over here also enjoys a nice unblocked view as well. Okay, special mention over here, 74% of the site area is being dedicated to facilities and greenery. Once again, right, this tells me that this developer is very focused on livability and lifestyle. I know, you guys must be thinking right now, right? Wow, Veroy, so much greenery leh. Then I got to pay for the maintenance fee. Very tall, confirm tall, right? Don't worry, guys. Come, let me show you over here. Maintenance fees. I think pretty decent. Why is that so? Just special mention, just to bring your attention over here. All your 3 bedrooms are 396 per quarter. No, sorry, 396 per month. Sorry, not per quarter. Per quarter I buy already. 396. Even your 2 bedroom is also 396 because it goes by share value, and share value is calculated via what? Size. So you can see over here, all is 6 share value. And if you buy the bigger unit, I suggest you buy the biggest lah, because all the 4 bedroom is also 7 share value. So your 4 bedrooms is only 464 per month eh. It's very cheap eh, please. I also stay in the 4 bedroom, right? My maintenance fee is a lot higher because lesser unit maybe. No, they're actually similar. Anyway, never mind. So in short, right, maintenance fees itself, very, very affordable. Don't tell me expensive. Confirm affordable one. So for those of you who are asking me, hey Roy, which one is the best stack? I'm going to share with you which one is the best stack. And the answer is, there is no best stack over here. Okay, in fact, because this development is laid out so nicely, I think almost everyone is a best stack lah, huh? But I think the main thing here is it's not about the best stack, because you buy the best stack, so what? You buy best stack at wrong price, it's also gone case ma. You buy the best stack, sell wrong time, also gone case ma. Correct or not? But generally, for those of you guys who want unblocked view, this development gives more or less unblocked views everywhere lah, huh? So if you look over here, block 51, 53, 55, 57, the stacks facing this side, right? It actually has an unblocked views like that. So what you are actually looking at right now, the brown color roofs these are actually the landed houses, and opposite will be the HDB flats. So if you are okay with looking out and then seeing a HDB flat being very far away, then I would say, right, that block 51 and 53 would probably command a lower premium, but still enjoy the same kind of unblocked views itself. Now for block 55 and 57, as we can see from here, block 55 and 57, right, they are probably going to be the more premium facing, because once you look outwards, you actually get to see the black and white colonial houses as well as far away into your waterfront area. And again, this location, the waterfront area, has been gazetted and earmarked by the government to do some form of rejuvenation. So that area is going to be very exciting as well. So these are actually for stacks fronting towards this side of the Canberra Residences, or CCR as I call it. Now on the flip side, okay, now looking at here itself, now you do see a little bit more HDBs on this side of the development, but not to worry, because I went on site and I saw that in fact block to block distance and the road in between is really far apart. So you are not going to have that kind of wall up feeling that, oh, I cannot see the sky, so I feel very compressed inside. For those of you, right, who probably want something that's not so premium in terms of price tag, units on this side will still enjoy similar views as well. Why do I say that? Come, take a look over here. Now, if you are on this part, facing towards here, you would realize that block 55 and 57 units on this side faces towards a green field right now, which is empty. Of course, if you buy now, you stay, it's going to be very, very shock lah, right? But there will be a future education institution over on that side. But I'm not worried about that because I've never seen an education that is more than 20 stories one. So typically this is going to be like max give you 6 stories. So if you don't want to be affected by that, just buy any units above 7 to 8 floor, you more or less can clear this education institute. Now for block 51 and 53, you also faces toward another future education institute plot as well. Again, same thing, my direction is anything above 6 to 7 floor, you kind of clear those views already. Hey, but something interesting, why are there so many educational plots over here? Think about it. This is what? This is future planning. The government knows that there will be more and more people coming into this location, and of course, we need schools. Hey, schools. Upcoming Seletar Line MRT. You buy at the cheapest entry price, 3-bedroom, good developer, good layout. How to lose, How? Okay, so with that, I'm going to go straight next up to our floor plan analysis. I'm going to showcase to you some of the key features that this project has to offer and how you can choose something that is suitable for your needs, alright? Alright, so now for floor plans itself, there are a variety of floor plans and I'm definitely not going to tell you each and every single one of them. I'm just going to compare them so that you guys know what you are going for. Now there's 1, 2, 3 and 4 bedrooms. Now if it were up to me, generally I would try to go for a 2-bed, 2-bath onwards, purely because it's an OCR location. Most of your future buyers, they are likely buying for own stay, so a 1-bedroom option may be a little bit harder to exit, but of course for the 1-bedroom types, you can still go for a rental yield play. Okay, so this is the 1-bedroom. I'm going to just quickly show you guys over here. Okay, so you have your living, dining, and you realize this one doesn't have any balcony. So essentially your 409 square feet is all live-in space for you. Aircon ledge is not counted, so 409, very, very real space. Master bedroom 9 square meter, Jack and Jill, which is something very desirable. So don't make the mistake of buying a 1-bedroom that has no Jack and Jill, because people would then have to go into your master to enter into the bathroom, and that is quite invasive in terms of privacy. So right now we're looking at the 2-bedroom unit types, and for the 2-bedroom at CCR, right, we have the 2-bedroom compact as well as the 2-bedroom premium over here. Now what's the main difference? If you zoom in and have a look, right, the 2-bedroom compact essentially is a 2-bed, 1-bath. Again, all 3 types of 2-bedrooms, they are actually the dumbbell layout. The main difference over here is, as I said, this is 2-bed, 1-bath, right? And the developer is also very thoughtful because within the 570 square feet of your 2-bedroom, 1-bath, you still have a study area over here factored in nicely. And you have to take note is that this is actually non-strata in terms of your aircon ledge, so your 570 square feet is very well utilized. Now moving on to the 2-bed, 2-bath unit type, which is probably the one that I would go for if I were to buy a project like this. A 2-bed, 2-bath, which means 2 units of 2 of the bedrooms itself, they are also attached bathroom, and the 2nd bedroom, your bathroom is actually a Jack and Jill concept, so that no one has to come into your master to access the bathroom. Personally, I also like the fact that it's an L-shaped kitchen over here, and this L-shaped kitchen allows more countertop space as well, and again having enough space for study area too. So overall, this layout, nothing much to complain about. And with that, 3-bedroom, let's go. So right now, moving on to the 3-bedroom unit types. Of course, you have your 3-bedroom compact and 3-bedroom premium. Now, what's the main difference over here? For the premium units, you have a home shelter. Now, for the compact units, you don't have a home shelter. Alright, so come, let's zoom in and have a look over here. So for the first type of the 3-bedroom compact itself, in terms of the size, just slightly below 800 square feet, I would say this is probably something very investable. Or if you guys are just a single or a small family and you prefer the luxury of space by having extra rooms, right? The 787 square feet is being laid out very well. Why do I say that? Because first and foremost, you have the dumbbell layout over here. So once you have the dumbbell layout, again, you eliminate the space of wastage of space, sorry. Okay, 2 bedrooms ensuite, your master, it's ensuite. Your bedroom 3 is also ensuite over here. Now, you have a recessed-in kitchen area. You do not have any extra storage, but overall you can see very usable, very well laid out. But perhaps if you guys need extra storeroom and stuff like that, right, then this layout wouldn't be able to offer you that lah. And if you guys need storeroom, then I will offer you the other 3-bedroom compact. Now, this other 3-bedroom compact is 883 square feet, and with the inclusion of this extra 80 over square feet, what you have right now is a traditional layout where you come in, you have privacy over here, and then thereafter you have this corridor that leads into your 3 bedrooms. So this is probably something that a lot of you guys out there will be very familiar with. What most people would love is that you have that wet and dry kitchen separation and an extra study over here. Now, this study becomes very useful because if you want to make the dining space bigger, just knock this out and you have a very sizable dining area. But if not, what you could do is to close this up, make this into a store. Right, then you will have this extra space for a store within a 883 square feet itself. So overall, nothing much to complain. I would say a very decent size for a small growing family, perhaps husband, wife, 1 kid, or perhaps even 1 kid and a baby. This would still work pretty well as well. So we will be moving now into the 3-bedroom unit type, the 3-bedroom premium, and the main difference over here. First, home shelter. Next, helper's toilet, HS and HT in the 3-bedroom premium unit type. Alright, so as you come in, you have some form of privacy over here. Some people do like this kind of layout because you don't get to see in directly into your unit itself. But frankly, if you ask me, really not a big problem lah, because I also stay condo ma, right? Where got people look into your unit one? Most of the time your door is closed lah. You think HDB meh? Okay, should I even say that? Okay, never mind. Anyway, so once you come in, you will realize that the 3-bedroom premium, right, you have home shelter. So the main difference over here is either is like that or like that. So depending on which one would you prefer. I think this will also boil down to what stack and what kind of facing you are looking for. Now again, for the 3-bedroom premium, you only have 1 attached bath, which is your master that you can see over here. Your junior, your 2 other bedrooms actually shares the common bathroom over here. And you do have this extra study area, so you could probably make this into a extra store, or this could be the helper's area or whatnot, because after using this for either store or helper's room, right, you still have a home shelter for you to keep your barang and stuff like that. Overall, 990 square feet, a very good laid out for the growing family, husband, wife, 2 or even maybe 3 kids, also possible. Now moving on, 4-bedroom, let's go. Now moving on to the 4-bedroom compact. 4-bedroom compact. So from 3-bedroom right now, you have 4 bedrooms. And what's the main difference for the 3 and 4? The 4 bedrooms, obviously, you have 1 extra bedroom over here, 1 extra bedroom over here. Now, for this extra bedroom, you can actually look at this more like a junior master bedroom, MBR, junior master bedroom, because you have attached bathrooms and it's Jack and Jill for your guests. They can also utilize this bathroom as well. Now, all the things that you would probably imagine, helper's bathroom, home shelter, study room, all in for you already. Then what's the main difference? Because this one is 1163 This one is 1173. Extra 10 square feet goes to where? This extra 10 square feet actually comes in at your foyer area, if you realize over here. One has a shorter foyer, one has a longer foyer. Nothing bad or nothing good about it. It just depends on your personal preference when it comes to the unit type and the stack facing. In itself, a very standard 4-bedroom unit type. As you come in, you have your dry kitchen, wet kitchen, service yard, WC for your helper and your home shelter, a very standard layout. Coming into the dining area, you have a 3-meter wide dining, you have your living and your study over here with window and air cons as well. Again, if you don't like this, you want to remove, then no problem, you can actually remove this part. Then now, you actually have a wide angle layout for your living dining area that actually draws in a lot of natural light as well. As for the bedroom size, 9, 9, 13, 10, nothing much to be worried about. Minimal queen size bed, master king size bed, no problem. 4-bedroom compact, that's it for you. And now, last, the 4-bedroom standard versus the 4-bedroom premium. Again, I think it's up to you guys, right? Whether you want to have more luxury in terms of square footage, or you just want something lean, mean, and usable for you. Because at the end of the day, we also want to look at what suits your needs and your investment timeline as well. Now, when it comes to the 4-bedroom standard and the 4-bedroom premium, the layout changes. You have the very coveted wide angle layout, which actually it's like that. So if you guys remember just now for the 4-bedroom compact, you could remove the study area to create this wide angle layout. But for the 4-bedroom standard and the 4-bedroom premium, you do already have this coming out ready for you without having to sacrifice any of the study rooms. Okay, now come, let's take a look. 4-bedroom standard, again, side-by-side comparison, you would realize that in terms of square footage, they are both 1216. No major differences except again for the home shelter. Either you want like that or like that. Okay, like that or like that. Up to you. Okay. Then again, once you decide it's like that, you're got to ask yourself what facing you like. Whether is it like that or like that. Can? Okay. So overall, nothing much to talk about. I don't want it to be too repetitive, but again, you would see you have your wet and dry kitchen, helper's bath. If you want to make your dry kitchen probably bigger, cut out this study, hack it away, because you still have your home shelter for storage. Wide angle living dining, 5 meter by 3.5 meter by 3.35 meter, pretty sizable. Your 3 bedrooms is 9 square meter, 9 square meter, 9 square meter, and you have a very generous master bedroom of 14 square meter. So you also realize one thing is that your wardrobes for the 4 bedrooms standard, they are actually recessed against the wall, so you don't actually have any wardrobes kind of cutting into your leg room and stuff like that. So here, can put 天王椅 啦, can install a dresser 啦, things like that. Very useful. Okay, so this is the 4-bedroom standard. Now, the last one, which is the 楼王, right, which is the best or the biggest layout of this entire development. It would be your 4-bedroom premium unit type, which is a 1324 square feet. 1324 square feet, what do we get? Entrance, pretty similar, come in, privacy. Home shelter, you have a sizable wet kitchen and a L-shaped dry kitchen. Perfect for entertaining. Your study is also over here, not compromised. Wide angle living dining as we've seen. And then from there, we move into this is what I like, this part. Focus a little bit on this part, guys. Jack and Jill for both bedrooms. So it becomes you have like 2 attached, and your junior master is also attached. So essentially for this 4-bedroom premium, all your bedrooms is fully attached. But how many bathrooms do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so not that many also. Usable within limits. But what I really like, it shines over here at the master bedroom side. 16 square meter, you have a walk-in closet. You still have a lot of walking space within the master bedroom itself. So essentially, this is definitely for those of you out there who like to enjoy the space, you have the budget, and you want to actually stay in this development to see through the whole northern transformation. I think this layout is just going to be more and more rare moving forward as land prices and as material costs continuously go up. entry price for this one is also pretty sweet. So if you guys want to find out about prices, hit me up. I will share with you the entire price list so that you guys can have a feel of what suits you better. Alright? So after listening to so much of my talking non-stop, now the key question to ask yourself here is it safe for you guys to put your money into CCR, and is it worth your time even looking at this project? Let's dive into prices. Okay, looking at the PSF itself, right, for Canberra, we transacted units from as low as 1855 per square foot to the highs of 2152 per square foot. That's pretty low, but how do I give context to these prices? What I have over here, this is actually the OCR, RCR, and not Canberra, CCR Core Central Region pricing trend. So you will realize for the OCR region, average PSF for new launches are transacting between 2002 to 2004 per square foot. Of course, there are other ones which are going higher, but I'm using an average, right? So anything below this PSF actually marks a pretty safe entry for you. And when we always say this, when your entry is safe, your exit is safer. But how does this actually measure up to the nearby resale property? So what I have done over here, as you guys can see, we filter out the OCR region within 800 meters to MRT station, very similar to Canberra Crescent, and TOP pretty recently. Alright, we can see in terms of PSF itself, we are looking at an average of 2142 per square foot. That actually means to say, for the Canberra Crescent, this project, in terms of their higher PSF of 2,100 per square foot, is still within the range of a resale property with similar attributes. And if you were to buy something between the 1,009 per square foot, essentially you can safely say today you are buying a new project cheaper than a resale property, right? Again, like I mentioned, there are so many things to factor into when it comes to buying a property. We usually like to talk about your holding period, your quantum that you're working with, what's your long-term and short-term goals, which these are things that is very hard for me to cover over a detailed video analysis or project analysis itself. And if you want more insights, again, drop me a PM, drop into my DMs, and I will be happy to share with you more. Alright guys, so that's all we have for you for today's analysis at Canberra Crescent Residences. I hope you guys love what I'm sharing, and if you like it, you want to share this with your friends, you want to make this video more viewed, right? Please like, subscribe, and share this because it will really encourage me. I'm so thankful that our last video actually achieved close to 1,000 views, and that was our first video. Now I'm looking forward to deliver more good content for you guys, and that's all I have for you today. My name is Veroy from The Real Collective, and I'll see you at our next video.